What's up, guys? Today I'm going to go over the PhiLs lab assignments starting the week 3. PhiLs Physio Labs is also part of the Connect platform, and these PhiLs labs are going to be lab reports that you need to save as a PDF and then upload onto Canvas for credit. Once you log into your Canvas and go onto Connect, you should see this page. And now go ahead and click onto the folder for Physio Labs. Once you click onto that, you'll see a drop-down of several labs that are assigned for the whole semester. Some of the weeks will not have a Phil, so be aware to check your syllabus to know which weeks you have to complete a Phils and which ones you don't. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one as an example and demonstrate how this lab works. So once you start the Phils lab, you're going to go ahead to the right-hand side and click the white arrow and start begin. It should take you to another page where it says continue assignment. So go ahead and click continue. And you should see the yes or no. So what you need to do is you need to click onto the link on top and open this up. It should take you to another page that says PhiLs Physiology Interactive Lab Simulations. And it's going to have always a first page where it goes over some of the key objectives. So for example, this first lab is using a pipette, using a spectrophotometer, diluting blood cells, reporting a range of sodium chloride solutions that can cause changes to the red blood cells. All right, so just be aware that you need to save and export this lab report as a PDF and save it onto your computer and then upload into Canvas for credit. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So once you want to start, click the next button, and that will take you to an introduction. There's usually going to be one page that goes over some information. All this stuff is going to be similar to what you will have heard in lecture, so it just helps you reinforce some of these concepts. Go ahead and click next. Every single PhilS lab starts off with a PreLab quiz. These quizzes are not going to be graded on accuracy, so you can do them as many times as you want, but you need to do them. Even if you don't get them all correct, you will still get the credit as long as you submit your lab report. If a solute concentration has been established across a membrane, the permeable solute will diffuse across a membrane. Right? So it will always go from a higher, let's say my answer is higher, to lower. Awesome, and we keep on going, continue. And then polar or charged molecules such as water and ions pass across membranes by diffusion. They pass through these protein. And then in biological systems, membrane channels are usually permeable to which of the following? Let's say only a few ions in water. Have sodium channels, no sodium channels, no channels, very few sodium channels. And then number 5, imagine a solution in which cells show no signs of shrinking or swelling, and now you add a large volume of water, a deionized water, to the solution. And that means the water is going to move into the cell and cause it to burst. All right, so now that I've finished the pre-quiz, I'm going to go ahead and click next. Do not click restart quiz. You can if you want to redo it. You can also skip the quiz, but you need to finish the quiz. And now what you're going to do is reminder, you will be saving these answers as a PDF. So do not close your browser, otherwise you will need to restart this whole quiz again. All right, so click the next button. And now it'll take a second to load, but you'll see a simulation pop up on your screen. This simulation is a little bit less high resolution, so you should be able to do it regardless of your internet speed. And you will need to follow the steps on the bottom. So in this experiment, we have a total of 19 steps. And you got to go through each step one at a time to complete your activity. All right, so I'll show you the first few steps, and you just have to take your time to work on this and read each step. So step number 1, first set the color of the light to be used by the spectrophotometer, and do this by adjusting the wavelength controls to set the wavelength to 510. Right, so I see over here on the spectrophotometer, it's at 490. I'm going to change it to 510. All right, and now once I did that, it's going to change my step to step number 2. So I just keep on working through this experiment. While the spectrophotometer warms up, add 1 ml of blood to each test tube and begin to move the pipette to the flask containing the blood solution. Right, so I see the pipette right here. I'm going to click it and then move it around and get to the blood. Oh, doesn't work. There we go. All right, and now step number 3, use the up arrow of the pipetter to draw 1 ml of blood. Right, 1 ml on top. I'm going to click this button right here. So sometimes it might take you a little bit of time, but just be patient with it. It's like a video game. You got to click around your screen, and you should be able to move these different objects. And I'm going to change my step to number 4 now, and it automatically does it for you. So as long as you get through the right steps, it's going to keep on progressing for you. Now with 1 ml of blood in the pipette, move the pipette into one of the test tubes without the blood solution. Right, so I'm going to click this guy, move it over here to the test tube without any blood. All right, use the down arrow and empty the blood into the tube and return the pipette to the flask. All right, so down arrow, easy. And now I'm going to use up arrow pipette, another 1 ml. So I'm going to just keep doing this. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm just going to now move the pipette over here to the next one. Dispense down, and there you go. All right, keep on doing this. Just repeat. So for this experiment, it's just repetition. All right, so now I made my way to step number 6. Now that I'm on step 6, currently there's no tube in the vial, so therefore the sensor is 0. Right, so set the value to 0. So I'm going to set the value to 0. And then during step 7, I'm going to calibrate it blank in order to allow light to travel through the solution to the sensor. And the tube contains 0 millimoles of NaCl. Right, so I'm going to open up the holder, take 0 millimolar NaCl over, dip it in, close the tube holder. Now calibrate using controls of the spectrophotometer and set the value to 100, right? So value should be set to 100. All right, and I'm on step 11. Now distributed, do not adjust any spectrum controls again. Use a journal book open and your value will output. So I'm click the journal on the right-hand side, and it should pop up right here. Data sheet was 100. Be aware that you can move the journal book around, so move it away from your field of view so that way it doesn't block anything. So you can move this guy around. All right, and then so number 2, I'm going to open and close it now, and now remove the tube from the holder. All right, put it back, and now locate the tube back holder, and then move the second one in here. Close it again. Click the journal. All right, and so you can see my data is being graphed right now from 100 to 99. So you're just going to take your time and work your way through this. And eventually you'll get through steps number 12 to 19. And once you're done with step number 19, you are done with the activity. Then the final part of this lab report is going to be a quiz, right? So let's just see over here. Let's say we have a quiz. I'm just going to randomly go through this real quickly. Click some random answers here. All right. And then get through all of this guy. I'm not even reading the question right now. I'm just going to get through it so that you can see what it looks like. All right, so now that I've finished all 10 questions of the quiz, it's going to tell me my score. So it says that I got 7 correct answers out of possible 10. You can restart the quiz if you want to get 10 out of 10, but remember, as long as you submit the PDF, you will get full credit. All right, so go ahead and hit next button. And now the lab summary over here, you'll see the lab results button pop up. Click that once, and now make sure to put your name in here. Make sure to save your work as a PDF, otherwise you will need to do it again. The right-hand button, save as PDF, and then it should download onto your computer, and now you have the lab report with the quizzes, PreLab quiz, your data sheet, and your post-lab quiz all saved up, and what you need to do is just upload this into the Canvas page under the PhiLs folder. All right, and that's the way you get credit.